Hi there, everyone. Welcome to your child's AP language class. I am their teacher, Mr. Byers. It's me. This is who they experience every day. Exciting, isn't it? I'm here to tell you about the course so you can get an idea of what it is that we do here. So sit back and get ready for quite an experience. Okay. You will see my screen. Here we go. So this is the AP Language e-class page for my class. If you're ever able to get on just to see, what's happening here, you'll find the announcements, the things that we're doing on certain days. We don't do this I don't post stuff on the announcements every day. It just depends if I need them to do something on that day that I can't verbally tell them. So, like here, I wanted to remind them to watch these videos I have posted, which I will show you where those are. Uh, Monday, Mondays and Fridays are independent work days. I don't lead class on those days. I will work with students on Mondays and Fridays, but I don't actually do classroom activities. Generally, it's a vocabulary practice and finishing up work that's previously assigned to work. On Fridays, we have quizzes over vocabulary, which I'm going to show you in a moment. The source of all the vocabulary stuff, so you're in the know. And then they can finish their work on Fridays, turn the work in. If I'm not helping the students individually, then I am working on grading and updating the grade book. So I think if the students don't want me to grade stuff because they don't want they want more time, then they probably purposefully talk to me more to distract me, to keep me from doing the grading and updating the grade book. So you can always see what is if your student missed a day, it might be up here. Like because I'm leading class Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays. I don't post a lot on those days because I'm actually we're doing the stuff in class. But there will be a definitely usually on Mondays. I'll post, so you can always keep updated. You can check that. Let's see. This is my information right here. Look, what a great picture. Mean mugging the kids. My name, my email address. That's the only email address I check in terms of email. Students like to send me emails to the Google account, but that's not a good source because that account is overrun by Google Classroom notifications. And so most teachers don't ever check the Google email. We usually just check the GCPSK12 email. So if you ever need to get a hold of me, this is how you do it. I'm available before school and after school upon appointment. I am not on demand. You can't just walk in and say, Byers, I need you now. I'll say, whoa, ho, ho, ho. We gotta set up a time, okay? So I can work with them before school. I can work with them up until 3 o'clock after school upon some notice. So they can reach out to me. They come to me. You could say, Byers, my kid needs some help, and then I would say, I totally agree. Tell your kid to set up a time with me. Okay, and that's how we work that out. These are my notes. These are links to. I'm going to. And I'm going to show you them in a moment. But if I am presenting notes to the students for them to write down, for them to study, I copy and paste and put all my presentations in this one link. I I tend to make a PowerPoint because I'm old and I like PowerPoint rather than Google Slides, but also because PowerPoint is more reliable. It has better transitions. But I will take my slides from PowerPoint when I'm done, and I will upload them to this document right here, which is the Google Classroom slideshow of all of our notes. So that will get continuously longer as the semester and the year goes on. And it's good because the things I put in there are things that are really important for the AP test, for the AP Lang test, and list of sources. So this is one way you can navigate my class. You might be asking, what is AP Language in general? I did have the students take home a syllabus that kind of explains it all. In the case that you did not see the syllabus, then they have it. You can look at it. I'm not going to go over all of it, but essentially we study argument, and not like classical argument. People are not having Socratic arguments anymore. People are not arranging their style of dialectics in the form of Aristotle's and the Greek and Roman structures anymore. Okay, essentially we are analyzing, for the most part, contemporary argumentation, which contemporary argumentation is more like blank verse poetry. People all have their own different ways that they're trying to set up arguments and the way that they're trying to convince people. So the same way in which students need to have a wide variety of ways to analyze poetry and understand some classical models, but then also understand the use of free verse. That's how it is now with arguments. We essentially approach arguments as poetry, and the students will have to develop a critical eye of reading whatever is presented to them, and then trying to deconstruct what is the underlying formula to this piece of writing, and be able to then talk about the argument that's being made. The test is multiple choice, partly, and they'll be given all types of different reading selections that are a variety of speeches and nonfiction texts. The majority of this is nonfiction. They're starting to change where they're okay with having some prose that comes from fiction, but the majority of it, and it's always been traditionally known as a nonfiction course, but that's changing as times change. Like Bob Dylan said way back when, times are changing. It's still true today. So they will read a variety of passages and then answer some multiple choice questions that deal with argumentation and how the writer has set up his or her argument. Then they will be assigned to write 3 essays, which I want to show you in a moment. 3 different types of essays. We refer to them as FR1, FR2, and FR3, free response. FR is acronym for free response. FR1 is always what we call a synthesis essay, which is they're given a bunch of sources and they're told to use those sources to make an argument on a topic. And then SA2, FRQ2 is the analysis, where they're given a speech or they're given piece of writing where they have to read it and analyze and deconstruct the argument that's being made in that piece. What the writer is doing or the speaker is doing on purpose to convince their audience of whatever it is that they're saying. And then FR3 is the argumentative essay, where the students are given a situation, and then they have to develop their own perspective on that situation, and they have to write an argument, and that they have to come up with sources and pull up sources and references and examples from their brain. Okay, so in this course, there's no ideology. We might read stuff from differing opinions because all the writers and all the speakers have different ideas, but the students are not being assessed about whether they agree or disagree with these ideas, but about the argument. Is it a valid argument or is it invalid argument? So the things that they take into the test will be skills. It'll be all skills. There's no material that they actually have to necessarily memorize. Okay. If you have your students' syllabus, you can read through it. The syllabus that I sent home with them is the same syllabus I used to get the class approved by AP. The AP Language College Board has to approve the class. And usually what we do as teachers, we send in a syllabus with a lot of details about essentially like hypotheticals, like what we would do in Unit 1, what we would do in Unit 2, with all these activities. And essentially the College Board looks at it and they read it and they're like, okay, well, if they were to do this, then they know what they're doing. And if they don't do this exactly, clearly they understand how things should be taught. So even if they chose to do different stuff, it'll probably be just as good as this. So we'll approve your class. Which means that the things that we write in the syllabus, that like the text that we'll read and the specific activities that we'll do, will change. They're just going to change, just in general. It's just a hypothetical. So the important things about the syllabus, if you were to read it, is the explanation of the class and what it is that we are doing. Okay, so if you're on here, okay, you'll notice that again we do a lot of vocabulary. Mondays and Fridays are vocabulary. I use a website that our program provided by Gwinnett County called Townsend Press, and I'm starting the year in reverse because allegedly the later units are harder, and then it gets harder with every single unit. So these are AP kids, so we're going to start at the for 30, and we're going to work backwards because most years, we start with chapter 1, and it takes us 2 weeks to get through a chapter. So in the whole year, we only get through about 16, 20 chapters. But I want them to be dealing with all the hardest ones, so we're going to start backwards and start with chapter 30 and work in reverse. So every other Monday, I give them new words. They define the words. They learn the words. We do some sentence checks. I print this off for them. They figure out which word completes the sentence. I go over it with them, and we'll grade it as a class. These practices are not for a grade because it's just to see how well they know the words. And then every other Friday, I give them a quiz where they have to the exact same thing which they did for the checks, which is just complete the sentences with the correct words, and then they get a quiz grade for it. Okay, so that's every other week we have quiz grades. So you're going to see a lot of. We already have some. They've already taken one vocab quiz, and we're about to do the other one this Friday. So you will see those in the grade book. Much of this course, the total entire course is guided by AP Classroom. All your students are signed up for AP Classroom. They're all in the class. These are all the units that we do throughout the year. I stay on track with what the way that essentially the AP College Board wants us to do it. I'll assign some videos for them to watch, and then a lot of our work will come from this multiple choice questions, reading selections. I don't do a lot online. I do a lot more, at least we will be printing it off, and they'll get a lot of their multiple choice practice from this website. Same thing with the free response questions we get from this website as well. I have a whole bank of other AP exams and AP practices that we do that the students will work on, but I tend to follow this layout. And this is essentially, I gave a lot of the students this a handout that has the AP units on it, where like essentially we split each unit up based upon the month. And this is what we're focusing on. Like August, we focus on these items, and they're about to do a rhetorical analysis essay on Tuesday. And then for September, we're focusing on this. And at the end of September, they're going to write an argumentative essay. For October, we're focusing on deductive and inductive logic and logical fallacies. Fun times! And then they're going to complete a synthesis essay in October. Every month is going to be capped off with a summative writing assessment based on the type of essay that we've been working on for that month, with the exception of December. The main summative that they'll have that month is going to be a multiple choice test. Okay, so this is our year, and it's pretty structured. It's very structured based upon AP Classroom, because the number one goal of this class is to get college credit. I'm gonna feel like a failure if your kid doesn't get college credit. That's the goal. Now, if 20 of the 25 kids get college credit and 5 kids don't, well, then I'm not really gonna feel like a failure. Honesty. Okay, but if the majority of my kids don't get college credit, then I'm not going to feel good about this. So I'm following along with the AP Classroom, where my method is teaching very specifically. So, like for example, this week I had the students looking at this test from. This is a release test from 2022, and we're focusing on the rhetorical analysis. So they had to read. This was the question number 2, where they were given the speech by Sonia Sotomayor, the U.S. Supreme Court Justice. They read it, and then we're going to be analyzing it. And so we'll be using our AP language notes, which we've kind of already gone over all of this stuff. And we'll be breaking it down, looking at student responses, analyzing the student responses, understanding why they got a high score for their response, what they did well, how we should write specifically on the test, what are some good examples of writing, how is that laid out. Okay, so we are really going to be looking at this very closely and breaking everything down very almost to a formula. And so because I can't teach the kids the words to use or the sentence structures to use. I can teach them about sentence structure, but I can't teach them word for word exactly what to write. And I can't do it for them, but I can give them formulas. I can give them almost like rhetorical algorithms of how to go about attacking the test, and then just hoping that they're able to take all this stuff and utilize it on the test. That's the goal. So, however in depth and specific we can be to the process of writing, I will. And so that's essentially what we're going to be doing all year. I mean, my formula is pretty basic. It is following the units, having them read complex pieces, and then we really break down the ideas of what's being said and done in those pieces, and then talk about how do you structure your own writing to communicate those ideas. It's just going to be a lot of this, a lot of this, a lot of this. Okay. I hope that was helpful. If you even continue to watch the entire video and check out or whatever, Hope maybe now you have a better kind of idea of what we're doing in this class and how it runs. So yeah, cool. If you have any questions, my email address is on the eClass page. Just send me a question. All righty. Y'all take it easy now. Bye-bye.